it!
God, oh my God.
Like, bro, like.
Nice. Stop.
Bro, did I just see a? Did I just watch The Matrix? I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be talking. My bad. Let me put mute my
Tournament, enjoying the hell out the game. So I don't take nobody serious with their bullshit no more. Everyone looks their way.
I was looking at some DOA.
Hey man, I'm sorry, dog. I can't watch this, dog.
This is
like it look like I'm watching somebody tick, bro. Somebody's ticking.
We just slowed it
Mike,
down.
hey, no, you not commentating.
Yeah.
All right, be honest. Who has the X videos pulled up?
Oh my days!
Oh my
Ouch.
God.
Ouch.
Mike ATO.
Ouch.
Mr. Mike
Put it in the back
ATO.
chat. Put it in the back
Mike, I
chat.
love you, baby.
10-4.
Hey man, look, I don't know what happened. My so what's going on?
He's running away.
What's going on?
Alright, Joe Budden, run that noise. Run the noise, fam.
Like, I know the last couple of weeks, Moonsault, he's been going up against EDDY players and all of that. And
That was the start of 3. That was start of 3.
that's rightfully so. I got a couple of things to say about that. Number one, those EDDY players were just looking for clout. They just wanted to be on Moon's stream. They weren't helping him win. Number two, those EDDY players were DOD and below. You got to go higher than that if you want to get better at the matchup. That's what I want to say about that. Those EDDY players, they weren't better than me, period.
Well, shout out to the 2 content creators for actually running the set. And I got to give D his respect. Even though D doesn't like Moonsault, I respect the fact that he, as a man, was actually, showed Moonsault enough respect to be like, hey, man to man, I'm gonna let you know right now, those EDDY players, they were not trying to help you at all. They were not trying to help you. They were trying to clout chase off you. And I'm gonna be real, D is right. There was only one EDDY player in the entire stream that I saw that was legitimately better than D all the way G, and that was Dex. But other than that, the rest of the EDDY players were dog water. And my advice to Moonsault, next time you get yourself involved in these beef sets, make sure to take into consideration labbing the character properly and learning the patterns of the person piloting the character, because there's labbing the character and then there's fighting the person piloting the character. You gotta take those 2 things into consideration. And like, man to man, respect you, Moonsault, but you might need to grow some thicker skin. All right, you might need to grow some thicker skin is all. That's it. Like, I'm gonna be real, Moonsault, you should have hit up me. You should have hit up me. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I mean, D said those guys were clout chasing Moon. I mean, I think they kind of were, honestly, but if they're going to clout chase, they could at least, equivalent exchange. At least, if you're going to clout chase off of Moonsault, at least give Moonsault, like, some actual, legitimate, like, anti-EDDY coaching. Like, show them how to actually lab characters, lab EDDY properly or something like that. But anyway, that's the intro. We're going to jump straight into this guide. First move we're going to cover is 3-3-3, probably the most popular EDDY move. If we're being honest, this is probably the main move you're going to see online and offline. And pretty much in every rank, from like, I'd say Warrior all the way to like God Destruction 3. You're going to see 3-3 eventually, right? Now, the interesting thing about this move is if you do have a character that has a kick parry, not many characters have a kick parry, but there's plenty of characters that do have a kick parry, like Paul, the Williams sisters, Regular King, and, the Kazamas. That also includes Jin. Leroy can also parry the second hit of what I'm about to show you, which is 3-3. So if you do have a character that has a kick parry, rather than worry about the mix-ups that follow ahead, also, in a game like Tekken, you want to prevent the mix-up before it even happens. That's how you have good defense. That's how you avoid. A lot of parts of having good defense is avoiding being put in those awkward situations to begin with. So if you do have a character that actually has a kick parry, right? Abuse it, right? Obviously, I can block the first hit of 3-3 and parry the second hit on reaction. First hit comes out, boom, parry. Right? Now that obviously avoids all mix-up interactions, right? And Nina's not the only character that can do that. There's a plethora of characters that can do it. Not every character in the roster can do this, but there's plenty of characters that can do this, alright? Just in case you play one of those characters that actually is able to abuse this. If you're not one of those characters, because this is a universal guide, like, I don't like to just show, like, one option that works against, you know, one character. So if you don't have that, this is what happens, right? After you block 3-3, Eddy is -3, but he has options you can go into. I think one option that's pretty common is this, the Power Crush. If you try and retaliate, it is -12 on block, as you can see. And obviously if you try and swing into it, you know, he can land into a heat engager, and you know, that's pretty bad, right? Now, if you have like a 13 frame down forward 1 with good range, you can challenge and block at the same time. Nina's down forward 1 is great, but it doesn't have that much range, because the second hit 3-3, if you pay attention, there's actually a little bit of pushback, right? So I might, if I try and down forward 1 immediately, I'm probably gonna whiff, right? And then boom, I get punished, right? So one option you can do is sidestep right. You can sidestep most of Eddy's moves to the right, honestly. Most, not all. Obviously, there's going to be some moves that track to the right. I prefer a sidewalk right in this situation after 3-3 in case they do the Power Crush. Sidewalk right. Sidewalk right. Launch. I'm not going to do combos because, you know, that's going to make the video longer. Oops, then sidewalk right. Alright. You can sidewalk right. To avoid that, it's a safe option. And if you do block it, the move is -12, but also Eddy, on top of doing that, he can also do this. He can do 3-3, right? And then step. Right? So I'm like, boom, he's -3. I'm going to try and challenge 12 frame down forward 4. Whiffs because he steps. Right? Now, if you think he's going to go for the stepping option, you can try and go for a homing move. But make sure whatever homing move you do is not out of range. As you can see, Nina's 1+2 whiffs right here. Down back 2 catches them, obviously, because it has more range. Or if you're really sure they're going to sidestep, you can call their sidestep and dash forward, and then do like whatever to realign with them. But they can also do this. And this is probably the third option. They might try and disrespect their frames and swing. If they swing, anything they do, you can float them. Right? I love how I said I wasn't going to do no combos. But yeah, that is an option. So those are like your 3 main options. Honestly, I think the safest thing to do, if you're not sure what they're going to do early in the matchup, is just sidestep right, because that is honestly going to be your safest option, and then anything they do will whiff, and then you can whiff punish, obviously, right? So that's pretty much your safest option, but it's best to, if you're not sure what the Eddy is going to do, it's best to see what they like to do. Your safest option after do 3-3-3, depending on your character, you could just sidewalk right and just wait and see what they like to do. If you're sure they're going to mash right away, then after 3-3-3, just float them with like a quick down forward 1 poke or something like that. If you think they're going to step and you're very sure they're going to step, try and hit them with a homing move that's quick enough that will also hit low enough to catch them stepping, because this does put them in Negativa stance. And, well, not Negativa, this puts them in handstand. What am I saying? This puts them in handstand, right? So they can step and go into Negativa, right? But it's all, you know, it's based on what you see them doing. Like, if you gotta watch your opponent, right? They can go straight into Power Crush, hit you for retaliating. If you block it, -12. If you're sure, just step right, boom, launch, punish. All right, so that covers 3-3-3. That's the most common move that you see with Eddy thus far. Another one is 2-3 that they sometimes saw. This is not, you're not gonna really see this by like high level Eddie players, but again, it leaves them at -8 and they can't block in the stance when they're in handstand, so just float them, right? And they're mostly gonna use this for like maybe like a punish or something. But yeah, as you can see, you can just float them. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the full thing because you know. And also, as a tip, most common switch, the most common transition from handstand to Negativa is this move right here. Handstand 1. This is +6 on block. If you get hit by it, +8 actually if you get hit by it, and puts them in handstand. Now there are some times where Eddie players are going to do this, and they're going to switch from handstand to Negativa off of this, and sometimes they might be too far away for a mix-up. Obviously he's close enough for a mix-up, but in the situations when they are too far, what they like to do is when they're in Negativa, they like to dash forward to realign themselves closer to you. No matter how plus they are, if they do that dash, they give up their plus frames right here, right? If you see them do this, challenge, because they gave up all their plus frames just to dash forward, right? And I have him set to do the fastest move he can do in that stance, right? And I can still counter hit him every time, right? As long as I swing as soon as I see the dash. As soon as you see the dash, they gave up their plus frames. So always remember that, because there are going to be situations where you're going to block, and let's say maybe you block their heat smash from like far away, right? From at the chip range, right? Which puts them into Negativa, right? And you see that they're too far away to go for either a 50-50 with the hell sweep or do 4-3. So if you see them too far away, they're most likely going to dash forward. Once you see them dash forward, they gave up their plus frames. That's your cue to go for a counter hit, go for maybe a quick down forward 1 poke, or just straight up launch them for like a down forward 2 or a hop kick, since they gave up their plus frames. That's always something to keep in note. Also, yeah, I'm just going to basically go through like the more common key moves that you're most likely going to see online, so that's going to be this segment of the video. Also, this is 4-4, safe on block -7, but if you realize something, the second hit comes out at 30 to 31 frames. Guess what? You can actually block the first hit and sidestep right. Block the first hit, sidestep right, because if they are in heat, most likely they're going to throw this out to try and get a heat dash combo or more pressure. So you can deny them that by just block, sidestep right. Block the first hit, sidestep right. You don't even need to sidewalk, just sidestep. Obviously, sidewalk works too, but it's better to just sidestep, honestly. And you want to sidestep to the right. If you sidestep to the left, it actually tracks in that direction, right? And as you can see by my inputs, you will get hit. So sidestep right. You don't need to sidewalk, just block, sidewalk right, sidestep right, and launch. Block, sidestep right, launch. Block, sidestep right, launch, right? That's how you deal with 4-4, right? Very linear, very simple to deal with, right? Another common move you see here is this. What's the input for this again? Okay, this is his up 4-4-3. Yeah, okay. This move right here, the second hit is a high. You can block the first hit and duck the second hit. So, block the first hit and duck the second hit. I got this move mixed up another one. So, boom. And if you don't duck the second hit, it's -8, so it's safe on block. So, make sure block, duck, and launch. Very simple, right? Now, this is a move you see a lot of times. This is a 4-2-4. Let me make sure, hold up. Yeah, 4-2-4. So this is 4-2-4 with Eddie. Mid-low. Second hit is -14 on block, so if your character has a 14 frame launcher, go for it. If you want to maximize your damage, you can low parry the second hit. There's no mix-up, the second hit is always going to be a low. So just low parry, or if you have a 14 frame launcher, go for your 14 frame launcher or punish or whatever you got. Next is back 1. Now, as soon as you block back 1, this is his back 1 4 string. This is what the full string looks like. Minus 12 on block. But the best thing to do is if he does back 1, just step right. You're going to see a common theme with Eddy. Just step right or sidewalk right. And the whole string will whiff. Right? And you can float, get a combo. And after he does the back 1, he is airborne, so boom, you could float. And do whatever combo you want, right? So now we're going to cover the next segments of his moves. Hold up, I'm going to pause it right here, be right back. Alright, and we're back. Okay, so for the next key set moves that we have that are very common to see online and offline, or at least, you know, through most ranks, is forward 4-3, 3+4. Now, if Eddy does forward 4, you actually can't step. You just have to block the rest of the follow-ups, which are pretty simple to do. Forward 4, 3 plus, forward 4, 3, 3+4, minus 12 on block on the last hit. And if you try and mash, you will get hit on counter hit. So just simply block the whole string. And there's also a low option, which is very seeable, so I was debating whether or not to cover this. But yeah, the second hit comes out at like 22 to 24 starter frames, so it's very reactable. It staggers on block, so just duck and launch it when you see it coming, and just, yeah. It's, how minus is it? Minus 24, yeah, yikes, yeah. So you can just, those options after forward 4, you can simply react to it. If they do back 1, just sidestep right, because if they try and do back 1-4, as soon as you block the back 1, just step right, and you avoid everything. They do forward 4, you just have to simply just react. Just block and react. This is also his heat engager, forward 3+4, minus 9 on block, so take your turn once you block it. Because for some reason, I've seen Eddy players do this, and sometimes people won't take their turn back. It's also very linear, as you can see. It has 0 tracking. You can step it left. You can step it right. You can sidewalk it left. You can sidewalk it right. But yeah, it's very linear. Oops, I stepped wrong. But yeah, you get the point, right? Well, I didn't step wrong. I stepped too late is what I meant to say. Next is Eddy's down forward 1-3. Minus 7 on block, so it's safe if you block the second hit, but obviously you can just duck the second hit and launch. Very simple. This is a very common move. Every person should be ducking the second hit launching. Next is Eddy's down forward 3, minus 18 on block. So most characters will be able to launch this. This is Nina's 18 frame launcher right here. Just to show that. Next is down 4. This is down 4. I believe this is down 4, 3+4, right? No, this is just down 4-3. Yeah, is the input. So yeah, the second hit is not natural, so you can get hit by the first hit and block the second one. And if you block the second hit, minus 13 on block. So make sure to punish that every time. This is another move that you may or may not see depending on your rank. I'll show you guys the input. So yeah, it's down back 2-3, or down back 2-4. The second hit, minus 18 on block. You're beginning to see a pattern, I think. So yeah, you can do your best launcher from 15 to 18 frames. Also, if you're a Nina player, make sure you do not try and launch with down forward 2, because you will whiff. With down forward 2, Nina does not propel forward when she does this, she just stands in place. So punish a reverse ivory cutter, or for more damage, down by 3+4. So yeah, minus 18 on block, launch punishable, very, very bad on block. And it's not natural. Also, this move right here, down back 4-4. This, if this hits, Eddy actually gets a charge, as you can see right there. So make sure to duck the second hit and launch. If you don't duck the second hit, it is +1 with pushback. So yeah, not much you can do. So just duck the second hit, block the first hit, duck the second hit, and launch. Very simple. Alright, we'll move on to the next common moves. Alright, we're back with the rest of Eddie's moves, and you know, I had to just do a quick pause right there. Next move we have is down back 3+4, 4-3. Now there's actually something interesting about this move. If you block the full string, -14 on block. But here's the funny thing, right? Yeah, you can block the full string as -14, but if you input a sidestep right and then block, you'll actually make the last hit of the move whiff, as you can see here, right? It's hard to get sometimes. There you go. Yeah, I'm not really sure what causes it, to be honest, but yeah, that's something you could do. You could input after the first hit, sidestep right, and then hold back, and the third hit will just whiff for whatever reason. I'm not sure what causes that, but there you go as an option. And just to show you that the rest of the follow-ups after back one whiff, here's me sidewalking right, or sidestepping right after the first hit of back one, and you negate and shut down any mix-up Eddie tries to go for. And I'm just going to show you guys again. Here's a different string. You know, that's the one that ends in a low. But as you can see, even if you just sidestep right after the first hit, the low will whiff. The low will hit you and you'll still be able to launch on block, on hit, right? Yeah, that's a punish on hit, by the way. That's a punish on hit right there. A full combo. I'm sorry, I know I wasn't going to do combos, but I just got to show you that it actually does launch on hit. Right? It's real. Now, obviously, yeah, you can block the second hit and launch, but again, after you block back one, you can just step right and then just, you know, float them, right? Step right and then float. And that beats anything they try to do after back one, right? So as soon as you block back one, just sidestep or sidewalk right, and it shuts down everything. Now if they do forward 4, you gotta block. And this is Eddie's I believe this is a wall combo that people like to use. This is back to 3-3 string. Now the last hit, -14 on block. Now he doesn't have to do this. He also has back, I believe he has back to 4. The second hit of back to 4 is safe. -7, but you can actually duck and launch the second hit, or duck, and this is what I prefer to do. As soon as you see this, you just sidestep right and launch. And depending on your character might get a better punish from crouch. Some characters might get a better punish from standing. Nina pretty much gets the same punish whether she's standing or crouching. But the interesting thing is, you can also kind of use this as an option select for back to 3-3. Because you can step right and then block, right? So even if they don't do the back 2-4, you can just step right. Even if the second hit back 2-3 hits you, as long as you didn't mash, you can block the third hit. So yeah, I kind of like to use that little option select. Just if you don't know what they're gonna do, just step right. Just step right and block. And you just step right, block, see that it whiffed, and then launch. Very simple. This is Eddie's back 3-3. Now this has him recover in crouch, so make sure to launch him. And obviously launch him with a move that's not a high hitbox. Because some mids do actually have a high hitbox. If I try down forward 2 will not launch. So with Nina, she has to do back 1+4 reverse hybrid cutter. Most characters will only have that issue. A standard hop kick will solve your problems and you'll launch back 3-3 because it's -15 on block. But if you don't have a 15 frame launcher, if you're playing a character that doesn't have a 15 frame launcher, go for your best 14 to 15 frame punish that is a mid that will hit crouching, or should I say, it will hit low profile opponents. This is Eddie's back 4-4 string, I believe back 4-4-3. Now you can't interrupt after blocking the first hit, but once it gets to the third hit, you can actually float him in the air, or if you want a better punish, step right, and launch. You can either float him in the air on the third hit, or step the third hit and launch. Very simple, right? This next move, okay, this is a move I meant to cover at the beginning. This is his 1-2 tilt. You can float him after this. It's very easy to react to. I debated whether or not I should cover it. If you block the low, minus 14. If you want a better punish, right? You know, after blocking that, just step right. Or a sidewalk right. And you can get a better punish, yeah, you can get that. You know, just in case you're one of those greedy people that like to maximize your damage, those are the options for you. Now we're going to cover the next segment of his moves. Be right back. Alright, and we're back. Okay, so now we're going to cover the next segment of his moves. This is back 3+4, Power Crush, save high Power Crush, -9 on block. So if you do block it, it is pretty much your turn right here. Eddie's forced to take a mix-up or maybe even a 50-50 depending on your character. But aside from that, it is a high, so the only way you can punish it is if you duck it, or if you step it. It's pretty linear. So you can step it, you can duck and launch. I do actually have a friend that's actually able to react to this. He reacts to it by just ducking as soon as he sees the Power Crush, because Eddie's only other Power Crush options come from being in a stance. So if Eddie's not in a stance and you see Eddie flash white, and you hear that sound effect, just duck. He's able to do it perfectly offline. I'm not even joking. He can actually do this perfectly offline. As soon as he sees the flash, like the little armor, he just ducks and launch it every time. So you guys can probably practice that and see if you guys can replicate what my friend can do. Other than that, the move is -9, so take your turn, and it is steppable, has 0 tracking. Next move we're covering is Eddie's up forward 1-3. Second hit is -13 on block. You can actually kick parry the second hit too if you want. Right? If you do block it, -13 on block. He also has another option that comes out at the exact same start frames, but I believe that you can kind of react to the animation. You can react to the animation and just duck it if they go for this version. And the second hit is a high, and if you block it, it's -8. So the only way you can punish it is by ducking the second hit, because it will track if you try and step. So just block the first hit and then launch the second hit. Alright, pretty much I just wanted to change the scenery, so now we're back with the move list. Next move is Eddie's up forward 3-3. It looks like this. -18 on block. So -18, just launch it. He does have a low option, but the low option is 4 frames slower, so it's pretty reactable. And it's -14 on block. So if your character has a 14 frame launcher, like Jun or Jin, or you know, Eddie and Kaz can also launch this low too with their 13 frame launchers, go ahead and use that. If you want more damage, just, you know, low parry. Stuff like that, right? Alright, next move. Next is Eddie's forward 3, +6 on hit. On block -14. So again, if you have a character with a 14 frame launcher, you can launch it. It's 21 frames. You can train yourself to react to it offline. Online, you're probably going to get hit by it every now and then, so it is what it is. You can step it to the sidewalk it to the left if your timing is really good. But it tracks to the right, so avoid stepping in that direction. So yeah, you can either try and step it, sidewalk it to the left. If you block it, it's -14. And there you go. Next, he also has a forward 4. This puts him airborne. I won't do a combo because, you know. So just float him with whatever you can. It's -12, so obviously anything 12 frame startup will float as well. Right? Or, you know, you could just jab. Every character has a 10 frame jab, so yeah. Free launch. Next we have his delayed hop kick, which actually does launch. He has a Tekken, he has kind of like a Tekken Tag 2 delayed hop kick. It is -13 on block if you block it, alright? So that covers that segment. Next we're going to get into his while standing moves. Be right back. Okay, now we're back with the while standing / crouching moves that Eddie has. And first we're going to start off with Eddie's wall standing 1-4-1-3. Looks like this, minus 15 on block. This is Eddie's 13 frame launcher, and you know, to compensate for it being 13 frames, it's launch punishable on block at minus 15. He also recovers crouching, so make sure you do a launcher that actually is a mid. And for you Nina players, down forward 2 is not going to launch Eddie after this. So make sure you do, if you're Nina, do reverse ivory cutter. If you're any other character, do like a hop kick or something. He also has wall standing 1-4, which is mid-high, in case he doesn't want to commit. And you can duck the second hit like that. Oops, not going to do a combo. So yeah, just duck, launch, do the best combo you can afterwards. Next is Eddie's wall standing 2, comes out at 15 frames, and it's minus 20, it's minus 18 on block. As you can see. Also, you actually can step this move as well, or sidewalk it, as soon as he's in crouch, that is, right? If you step earlier, you might get hit. Step after, you'll be able to step. It's more consistent to step while standing 2 to your character's left. And yeah, you can step it right. I just find the move a lot easier to sidewalk to your character's left. People might be wondering, why would you ever sidewalk this move to the left when you can just block it and launch, you know, Michael Murray. But if you're in a situation where like you put the Eddie in a full crouch situation, like for instance, Nina's up forward 4 is 0 on block, and at some ranges it's +1, but most of the time it's 0 on block. So if you were to put an Eddie that was blocking in full crouch, and you wanted to make them whiff their next option, you would probably want to step to your character's, sidewalk to your character's left. That way, if they do a wall standing 2 or anything else, you pretty much cover, you're able to step. You can pretty much step everything Eddie does in full crouch to your character's left. Alright, we're going to cover the next move. Is Eddie wall standing 3. Pretty much is like identical to his QCF3. Minus 13 on block. And also, you can also sidewalk this to the left and the right as well. I just prefer the left when they're in crouch because it's a bit more consistent, but you can pretty much step everything he does in full crouch to your character's left and right. It's just that wall standing 2 is more consistent if you step it to your character's left side, but other than that, is Eddie's wall standing 4-4. You can duck the second hit and punish. Right, now see, like the difference is like right here, I can get a launch, right? If they only do wall standing 4-4 and you duck the second hit, you'll launch them every time. However, if they keep continuing with the string, you'll only get that. So be mindful of that. You can step third hit any direction, and if you even do one step, the whole string will whiff completely, right? Obviously, you could just after the second hit, you can just float them. Oh, looking consistent. But floating the last hit is a bit more consistent, as you can see. But obviously, if you want more damage, you want to start stepping after the second hit and then just launch, or just step the last hit and launch, right? Simple as that. Oops. And if you're gonna step it, try and step it to your character's right. I just find it's more consistent that way. Other than that, that's wall standing 4-4 string. This is Eddie's full crouch 3+4. It's +5 on block, so you do kind of have to respect it, and it puts him in Negativa. Obviously, if Eddie's ducking your face, you should challenge. He doesn't have any power crush from crouch, so if he's ducking your face, challenge. And if you get him at the right time, you'll actually float him out of this. And on top of that, as we discussed earlier, everything he does in full crouch can be avoided from both sides. And then you could just punish. Easy, easy. But if you do block it, keep in mind that move is +5 on block. Also, this is Eddie's, what is this? Full crouch, down forward 3, full crouch, down forward 3. On block, +6. And just like his full crouch 3+4, it is super linear. But either way, if an Eddie's in crouch, you shouldn't, you should be interrupting unless they have plus frames, of course, right? Next move. This is the last move he has while standing, and then we're gonna go over to his stances. This is Eddie's full crouch, down forward 4, if I'm not mistaken. Full crouch, down forward 4. It is reactable. You might get hit by this sometimes online because it is what it is. If you do block it, it's -21, but it puts Eddie in an airborne state. So I recommend practicing your best float combo or whatever. If I do a while standing 2 here, like with Nina, I'm not going to really get much. Right? So be mindful that if you do block it, he's in an airborne state, so go for a float combo, okay? Like whatever your character has. Alright, moving on. Now we're actually going to cover Eddie's, now we're going to actually cover his handstand stance. I know it has another name, but I just call this handstand, so be right back. Okay, now we're actually going to cover Eddie's move list out of a handstand. I know that's not the original name for it, but that's just what we're going to call it. So first move, 1, handstand 1. This is the most common move that you see because, it's +6. It's very linear. Has no tracking whatsoever. And, you can float him before he goes for it, but most of the time they're going to be doing this in a situation when they either have, like, some plus frames. Mainly after a wall running 3, like, you might see something like this from Eddie's. Hold up. Yeah, like this is like the main transition you'll see into that move, right? If you know they're gonna go for it right away, you actually can interrupt with something 12 frames. Or even 13 frames. Or even 14 frames. Right, so if you have a good read that they're gonna go for this, yeah, try it out. If not, just block. I feel like if you're guaranteed that they're gonna go for this, I would just actually step left. That way, if you do get hit, you don't get hit on counter hit. You understand? So, next move we're gonna cover is handstand 2-3. This one you can actually sidestep right. If it hits you, Eddie actually gets a stock. If you block it, -13, but it's better to just step right and punish. Step right and launch. Like this. Easy. Next, this one's famous. This is his 3-3-3 out of the stance, and it looks like this. You can deck the second hit and launch every time. There is no mix-up once he commits to this move. If you don't duck the second hit, you are given the opportunity to duck the third hit and launch. If you don't duck the third hit and launch, he's -5 and he stays in the stance. Right, but it's best to just duck the second hit and launch every time. Next, we have a handstand 4-2, and it looks like this. I believe it's -12 on block. -13. And no, you can't punch parry the second hit. You have to block. You have to block and punish the second hit. Now, he actually has a mix-up. This is his handstand 4-2-3. Now, if he does this, he's actually +4 on block. But it's super slow, so you can react to it and float him out with a jab. Or you can step and get a better punish, more damaging option. Right? Next, we covered this earlier at the start of the video. This is his power crouch from the stance. minus 12. Has pretty much 0 tracking. As long as, you know, you're early with it, of course. So not much tracking, minus 12 on block. And this is kind of like, you don't really see this move this up often. This is like his backswing blow out of the stance to avoid stuff. If it hits you on counter hit, yeah, if it hits you on counter hit, it is a launcher. Minus 12 on block. And he actually is airborne when he does the move, as you can see, so you can float him. And not much tracking either. So next we're going to cover all of Eddy's options out of Negativa. Be right back. Okay, and we're back. Okay, this is going to be the last segment of the video. Now we're going to cover all of Eddy's moves in Negativa, starting with 1-3, and it looks exactly like this. Minus 14 on block. Now the low is not natural. You can get hit by the low and still block the mid as long as it's not on counter hit. The string is only natural on counter hit. And it leaves Eddy at minus 14 in a low profile situation, so make sure, you know, highs are going to whip, obviously. So do a 14 frame or 13 frame punish that will hit him in the stance. For Nina has her new 14 frame punish for 3+4-1. So for your character, it'll look different. Whatever move you have that's 14 frames or faster that hits mid is your best punish option. Next. This is another one. This is Eddy's Negativa 244, and it looks like this. Let the string play out so you guys can see what it looked like. And as you can see, similar to another string, the last hit is minus 14, but it's best to just duck the second hit. Don't even let it get to the third hit. So just duck the second hit and launch. And if you do block the last hit, it is minus 14, but honestly, it's best to just duck the second hit and launch, alright? Next, Negativa, I mean, everyone should know about this one. This is Negativa 3-3, which is his hell sweep. Staggers at minus 26, so there's no excuse for, you know, there's no excuse not to launch this, right? And the last hit is minus 13 if the first hit whiffs, but if you are in a situation where the low whiffs and you're not in range, it's best to just duck so you can get a better punish, because the second hit is also a high. But if you do block the high, it's minus 13, right? And this has to hit clean in order for Eddy to get the knockdown. If you are at this range, right around here, whoops, right around here, there we go. The full string will not be natural. It has to be on clean hit in order for it to be natural. Clean hit meaning he has to be close enough for it to hit at a certain range before he gets the guaranteed knockdown. And if he isn't and you block the second hit is minus 13, and you could also duck the second hit if the first hit whiffs by itself, just to let you guys know. Next is Eddy's Negativa 4-3. This is also very common. You probably see this the most. It is a heat engager. Minus 13 on block. And no, you cannot kick parry the second hit. He is considered airborne during the second hit, so you have to block the second hit and punish with your best 13 frame punish or whatnot. Next is Eddy's 1+2 in Negativa. This actually does chip damage on block. Looks like this. Minus 8, so if you do block it, you can take your turn. But also, it's worth noting that this move is pretty linear for the most part. Yeah, so you can step it and punish. Next is Eddy's Negativa 3+4, and it is his last move in the stance, and this is what it looks like. Minus 18 on block, so make sure to launch it, and he's airborne too if you do something that's like, you know, really quick, but honestly, it's best to get a standing punish, so anything like hop kick, down forward 2, doesn't have that much pushback on block. Yeah. And next, last two moves I'm actually going to cover. Also, before I move on, there's a move that I didn't cover earlier in the video that is somewhat common. This is Eddy's up forward 3+4. Minus 13 on block. And now we can move on to Eddy's. Eddy actually has an install in this game. And he only has 2 moves out of the install, right? And even they go up to level 2, but level 1 and level 2 have the same frame data on block, so don't really worry about it too much. This is his, I hope I'm saying this right, his Mandinga, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, honestly. This is his 3+4 during the handstand, and this is what it looks like. This is his, well, it's worth noting, level 2, knockdown like this, pretty chunky damage. You have to block this low and then stand up, and it's minus 13 on block. And this is his only low out of handstand. And this is his, this is also out of handstand. The input for this move is back 4. Now it's +7 on block, but it's also pretty linear. And since he's gonna be, he's gonna be airborne, so yeah. But pretty linear for the most part. More so linear to your character's left side. And now that pretty much covers everything. The last part of the video is going to be Eddy's lows, and then we can end the video. Next, we're actually gonna cover Eddy's lows. So we're just gonna go through them. Some of them we've already gone through, so I guess this will be a refresher. First is 4-4-3, minus 14 on block. You can step this to the left. Next is down back 3. It is like almost 30 frames. It's pretty much 29 to 28 startup frames, and it's super reactable. I can't really see people getting hit by this online unless the connection is really unstable or they have poor reaction time or they're not used to seeing this move. It does catch people stepping right though. So yeah, you can step this move left. If you step it right, it'll actually track. So that's pretty much its only use. You can use it as a homing move for right options, but why would you ever step this right when you can just react to it? And if you are going to step, make sure you step to your character's left and punish. Next is, I believe, this is sidestep 4 with Eddy, or sidestep, yeah, this is sidestep 4 with Eddy. Minus 13 on block. On hit, it's only +3 and leaves Eddy kind of far away, so it's not the most rewarding low for Eddy because at +3 at that distance he can't really get much. You can just step like let me show you something. Oops. Let's record that again. Also note, it doesn't leave him in full crouch, so again, like you could get hit by this, and you could still step, right? So yeah, and if you do block it, it is minus 13 on block. So we're gonna go over our next low. This one again, this is out of his handstand. We've already covered this earlier. Block the first hit and then stand up for the rest and punish with your best 13 frame punish. He can only do that low out of handstand if he has at least 1 stock. And this we've already covered. This is his hell sweep out of Negativa, his 3-3 input. Minus 26 on block. We've covered this earlier. This is his down forward 4. Not a bad low, because honestly it's probably his safest low. It's only minus 12 on block. Comes out at 18 startup frames. So not like terribly slow or not terribly fast or anything. Pretty much a decent low poke. It is worth noting that on hit it is 0. So this is only 0 on hit. So if you do get hit by this, you can take your turn immediately. You guys can both fight for your turn. So yeah, and if you block it, minus 12. I'd say it's somewhat reactable offline. Online, I could see this move hitting a lot of people. and even offline too, because again, it's not a slow move, it's not a fast move either, right? And we've already covered down forward 3. You can get hit by the first hit and block the second hit. The second hit is minus 13 on block. If you do get hit by the second hit, he gets a free heat engager with a crouch grab. And this is his throw out of handstand. I know it's technically not a low, but it is worth noting. At the wall, this move actually does wall splat. And because you have to crouch to avoid it or step, you can actually step this move because, you know, it's not a generic homing throw. So yeah, you can step it and then, you know, punish, because he's gonna be in an airborne state, so you can float him. It comes out at 23 to 24 starter frame, so you actually can train yourself to react to this and then duck on reaction and then, you know, punish or whatever. And that pretty much covers all of Eddie's lows and low options. I know technically the last move I showcased was not actually a low, but since you have to duck or step in order to approach it, and in order to avoid it, it's somewhat treated as, you know, a low option, right? So yeah, that pretty much covers everything for the anti-Eddie guide. I try to keep this video as simple as possible. I think this is my least, like, most of my punishment guides, I kind of go a bit over in depth and stuff like that. This one, I'm trying to keep this one as simple as possible and showcase like the primary options for dealing with these moves, how bad they are in block. I didn't really want to go too full depth into this, so hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I can't talk. Hopefully you guys enjoy these videos, you find them useful. Hopefully this deepens your understanding of the Eddie matchup and you guys can, you know, do a lot better against this character. And if you're an Eddie player, hopefully this gives you a bigger perspective on how to avoid playing Eddie in a flowchart manner. I'm gonna do more Tekken content on the way. I work night shifts, so that's why my voice is very tired and monotone. I think somebody on my last video said something like, "Oh, you sound like Landon D" or whatever. I don't think we sound alike. I think we sound completely different from one another. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe. Join the Discord if you guys want to get some games in with other people in the community. I pretty much live stream at least 4 to 5 times a week. I try to do daily streams, but you guys can catch me on Twitch streaming a bunch of games, either Tekken, 80s 2, Sonic Riders, or whatever. And I think for my next video, is going to be a big one. I'm actually going to do a lot of editing. Hopefully it goes well. We'll see. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.